Good evening. I am going to call to order the Batavia Park District Board of Commissioners regular meeting for December 17th, 2019. Shall I please call the roll?
Riley?
Here.
Dorsey, absent. Tillman?
Here.
Gray?
Here.
Kellyanne?
Here. Please stand for the pledge. Get out of the way. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, any items to be added, removed, or changed on the agenda?
Yes, I would like to remove Batavia Parks Foundation. They will not be in attendance tonight. due to
Okay.
illness.
No update, very good. Anything else?
No.
Excellent. All right, so moving on to item 5. So I would entertain a motion to establish the consent agenda as follows. Approve the meeting minutes for the regular board meeting of November 19th, 2019. Approve the minutes of the executive session of November 19th, 2019. Approval of the paid expenditures, expense report summary, investment summary, income statement, purchases, and IPRA environmental report card.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Tillman, second by Gray. Any further discussion? Shall I please call the roll?
Tillman?
Aye.
Gray?
Aye.
Riley?
Aye.
Dorsey, absent. Kellyanne?
Aye, motion carries. I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as established.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Tillman, second by Gray. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is matters from the public. I do not see anyone wishing to address us tonight other than some special young gentlemen sitting in the back of the room, which we'll get to in a minute. And I will, at this time, open the floor up to commissioners for matters from the commissioners. Anybody? Got nothing?
Got nothing.
All right. So next item on the agenda is correspondence. And I believe we had 2 pieces of correspondence. A letter from PDERMA, the Park District Risk Management Agency, acknowledging the Park District's 2019 Risk Management Review and an award of $1,500, which means we did good. Congratulations to everyone. And number 2 is the letter from the Historical Society President, Dan Helfer, requesting a meeting with the Park Board to discuss the changes to the existing development agreement pertaining to the expansion of the Depot Museum, which we will put on file and get back to him with a date that we can meet.
He's actually out of the country, so it'll be sometime after February.
Okay.
Okay, very good. All right, our favorite part of the meeting, which is item number 10, announcements. Katie?
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
As soon as Mother Nature allows, the Depot Pond at the Riverwalk will be open for ice skating. So the Batavia Park District wants to remind skaters to practice safety when using the pond this winter. So please stay off thin, slushy ice or freshly sprayed ice. When the red flag is flown, skating is prohibited down at the Riverwalk. And then if conditions are right, you'll actually see a green flag being flown. And the Peg Bond Center will be open as an unsupervised warming house, weather permitting. The doors open at 8 a.m. and are locked at 5 p.m. So just by following some simple precautions this winter will help keep everyone safe and able to enjoy the pond. And also new this year, you can check out bataviaparks.org/ice skating for a quick update if the ice skating pond is open. So you don't actually have to trek all the way down to the Riverwalk this winter. And then calling all preschool parents, if you're looking for a new preschool, the New Horizons preschool registration for the 2021 school year will begin on January 6th for residents, and non-resident registration will begin on February 3rd. Participants that are currently enrolled in New Horizons have first priority. We just ask that you bring a proof of residency if applicable, a birth certificate, updated immunizations, and a correct deposit fee for registration. We're also going to be hosting a special special preschool open house on Tuesday, January 28th from 5 to 6:30 p.m. So if you'd like to visit our classrooms and meet all of our amazing teachers and staff, we definitely encourage you to attend. For more information, or if you also just want your own private tour, you can please call Lori McDonald at 630-406-5282. And then go beyond language with the Batavia Park District and the Batavia Public Library on Thursday, January 30th for the first of our 2020 Pachacacha nights. I'll get it one of these months. I think I got it right. Doors open at 5:30 p.m. and the shows start at 7 p.m. These are informal and fun gatherings where people come together to share ideas and stories. The cost is $10 per ticket at the door, or you can pre-register at batavia16.eventbrite.com. And then also coming up, dads and daughters ages 3 and up will dance the night away at the annual Daddy-Daughter Date Night. And we're so excited to announce that we've added a second night for this popular event. So you can join us on Friday, January 31st or Saturday, February 1st from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. at Rotolo Middle School. So be sure to save the date and sign up soon because we will probably sell out of both nights. So the night will also include an Under the Sea theme, which should be a lot of fun, and also highlight dancing, entertainment, games, photos, and much more. The cost is $32 per couple, and there's also an option to have dinner at Pal Joey's, or you can also get a corsage courtesy of Paragon Flowers for an additional fee. And then also in observation of the holidays, the Park District offices will be closed Monday, December 23rd through January 1st in observation of Christmas and the New Year holiday. So you can visit the website for a full list of all of our holiday hours this season. And we also, just from our Park District family to all of you out there, we want to wish you a safe, festive, and happy holiday season and a happy new year from all of our staff. And of course, if you have any questions about any upcoming events or programs, you can always visit our website. And we also have a lot of information coming up about our upcoming 2020 referendum. So please visit our website at bataviaparks.org or call us at 630-879-5235. Thank you.
Thanks, Katie. Okay, next on the agenda is staff reports, so we'll start with any updates from staff.
I was asked by the fine ladies down at the Depot Museum to please let folks know that the museum is closed now for the season. They will be reopening on the 2nd of March with getting ready for a new exhibit. We have had an extremely good year at the museum, both visitor-wise and activity-wise. On December 1st alone, at our Celebration of Lights, we had 375 people come through the door, which was an absolute bust. It's like more than we've had for years. So it was, they ran out of craft stuff. They had to make more stuff. So
That's great.
They had a wonderful time. Yeah, it was great. So we're getting our word out that the Depot's a cool place to visit. So,
Wonderful.
yeah.
Well, the board's going to hear a lot from me in new business, so I will be brief here, but I do want to point out a couple tech updates, or accomplishments rather. We were able to complete the internet install at the lodge now, so the Wi-Fi and internet connectivity will be available for both staff and renters at that facility now. And then at the East Side Center, the managed access system was expanded to include the exterior doors as a part of that construction process and some interior doors as well.
Super.
Hi there.
Hi.
First, I'd like to wish you and your family a happy Christmas and a wonderful New Year.
Thank you. You too.
Nice to see all of you. This time of year, we get back some selected returning seasonal employees from college, and it's a welcome sight to have them in the house. We do everything from painting offices to cleaning furniture and painting all the picnic tables and garbage cans. Just totally thrilling stuff, but we really appreciate the help when we get a lot done. With the freezing weather we've been experiencing, we've been able to, the ground and the mud is frozen, which allows us to get equipment into our wetlands and do some much needed work in that area, which is always kind of fun for the guys because it's a challenge in itself because it is not always completely frozen, but they do a good job, and it's fun to watch and get things done. So other than that, if you don't have any questions for me, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Would the board ever entertain the idea of Eric singing one of his reports, especially one that rhymes so well. As much as
Well, every year that I've been on the board, he's made one of these poems.
This is long.
And yes, this one was a little longer than, but I would love to hear this to a cadence from, we may not have the time, but, you know, we could, you know.
Katie, I'm thinking of videos.
Yeah, I'm thinking some sort of a video. You put this to a beat, this would be lovely.
I think we should
We
make
have
that happen.
speakers here, we can make that happen.
Yeah, somebody could drop
Yeah,
a
Jim, I
beat
want
to
you
this and
I want
just,
you to do the vocals in the background.
yeah, just get yourself a hype man and we'll make this possible.
Last year's poem was a nod to Mr. Eby here, and then this year was Josh,
Yeah.
who's our facilities and trades superintendent, and we always pick on him about his Minnesota accent, so I couldn't pass it up.
I love the yeah, hey there reference.
Hey there.
Yeah, so,
He actually says that.
Oh boy, don't you know? Oh, yeah.
Oh, he does.
Thank you.
So, yeah. Awesome. Perfect. Celebration of Lights was a few weeks ago. We had great attendance. It even started snowing when Santa got there, so it was a great event. A lot of us worked it, so it was a lot of fun. We're excited to be offering new golf classes next year. We're going to be offering some date nights and leagues for adults as well, so we're very excited about that. And the rec team would like to thank all of our volunteers. Without you guys, we wouldn't be able to do all of our programming. The rec team had over 5,000 hours of volunteers this year, so we're very grateful and appreciative of that. And that's it for me.
Great, thank you.
Actually, I have a quick update about volunteers also. On December 4th, we actually, the district hosted a special volunteer appreciation lunch in Shannon Hall. So we invited all of our volunteers from rec, from all the special events, from our park cleanup days with the Parks Foundation, museum volunteers, you name it. They all were invited to share a meal, and they all received a special gift from the park district to thank them for all their hours. And we shared some of that information with them too about how important it is that, you know, their dedicated time helps us tremendously. And so, and Allison also came and showed her appreciation. So it was a really wonderful event. So, you know, of course, we're always looking for providing more opportunities for anyone who's interested in volunteering with us. I'm going to keep my announcements brief as well. Just real quick, the new district website did officially launch. I know a month ago I said it was happening soon, but it did happen. But so far, nothing but really positive feedback. We're still tweaking a few things, but it was many months in the making, and so really pleased to see it come together here at the end of the year and to hear positive feedback from staff and from the residents as well. Other than that, about a year ago is when I asked all of you, if there was any additional changes or additions to my marketing report that you'd like to see. This is when we actually added the social media portion of my report. So if you guys have any feedback for me, I'd welcome it. If there's anything else you'd like for me to share, I'd be happy to. But other than that, happy holidays to all of you as well.
Thank you to you as well.
Thanks.
Board, any comments on staff reports? All right. Next item on the agenda is the executive director's report.
Yes. So normally I would do this in January, but I figured what a perfect way to tie up 2019 and to really create a big hoorah for 2020. So we're not going to do a song and dance here. Not to disappoint.
I didn't wear my dancing shoes.
But we're going to talk about where we've been and talk about how bright the future is ahead of us. So don't time me, but I'm going to try to get this in under 3 to 5 minutes. Let's just call that under 5. One of these days I'll get this right. Here we go. We kicked off the year celebrating 50 years of service to the public. We had throwback programs. You name it. Actually, pickleball is considered a throwback program. We had some table tennis. We had programs down at the quarry that were throwbacks. And I just want to thank staff so much for brainstorming such creative ideas to make it such a successful throwback program year, to the point where the public has asked us to keep some of those programs. So we're really excited to kind of reintroduce those programs back into our full-time portfolio. And much thanks to all the staff that were a part of the anniversary celebration that we had, and to the park board for supporting us hosting that celebration. It was great to honor going back to 1969 when we were first incorporated, going back to the visionaries from that time, moving forward to the current park board, who are still creating creative ways to get through obstacles and challenges, and really making innovative things happening in this community. So we're still thriving 50 years later. Big Woods Park saw a brand new renovation to the tennis courts. We are getting a ton of positive feedback because pickleballers are happy there are lines there for them as well as the tennis. At the Halcori Beach, we have a mural that we were told will hopefully last us 10 years, so into the next decade. So that is definitely monumental for the next 10 years out. And we also have found creative ways of utilizing what we used to call dead space. So this stage was not handicap accessible, so we couldn't program it. So we've actually made it into storage, attractive storage, thanks to the Parks Department and their creativity. So speaking of innovative ways, the coffee nook, this was an area where people used to kick off their muddy boots and throw their coats on the ground. And now we've kind of made it people's responsibility to take care of their own coats. We do have coat racks, but the marketing department has found a very attractive way to make this into a nook. And now we find people that are plugging in literally to our outlets, taking full advantage of the complimentary coffee station that we have and hot chocolate. Speaking of spaces that maybe were outdated that we have brought up to date, up to speed, this is the Caterer's Kitchen. This is what it used to look like over at Shannon Hall. And the space was completely outdated, 1970s. And it was very difficult to use. There wasn't a lot of counter space. And fast forward to today, it's a commercial grade kitchen. And through our capital development program, thanks Mr. Eby, he spent countless hours working with Williams Architects on the plans to make this happen. And we're already offering cooking classes. So those of you watching at home, we have cooking classes for all ages. These are the littles making Christmas cookies. But certainly a way to take space that wasn't working necessarily for the public and making it a very usable space. Just outside of the East Side Center, on the west side, we had, again, dead space. So we had a slope that had an awful grade to it. And we had engineered it so that we could flatten it out and create a New Horizons preschool playground, as well as opening it up to the public outside of preschool playground hours. And it's the pour-in-place surface, so now anyone, whether it's a wheelchair or a stroller, can glide right up. The new website, this was the year for the new BataviaParks.org. It had been since 2012 since we had launched our last website. So we were due for a complete overhaul and makeover. Kudos to Katie Drum for leading the way on this. A lot of countless hours of digging into what the public uses on our current website or past website, but certainly looking for efficiencies and ways to make it more effective. This last summer, the Park District hosted a listening tour. We went to every elementary school with the exception of one, and we found out what the public wanted from our community needs assessment and did a deeper dive with questions. And certainly that led us from the community needs assessment to the listening tour to an indoor facility workshop where we were able to take the need, which was indoor space, and find out exactly how to craft it so the public would want to use it. And so October 8th was our magic day for that to happen, which led us to the announcement at the last park board meeting. The park board had adopted a resolution to go out for referendum for the Batavia Activity Recreation Center. And so Park District staff and board is invigorated and excited about what the future may hold, which leads us into 2020. Missions, goals, we're actually working on our comprehensive master plan right now, so we are folding one thing into another. And we are full speed ahead. In fact, by February, the comprehensive master plan will be finished and presented to the park board. In 2020, we're also working on accreditation through the Illinois Association of Park Districts and the Illinois Park and Recreation Association. They have an accreditation program, and what that means to the public means that Batavia Park District is committed to a higher standard, higher best practices, and we have to achieve certain criteria on a monthly, yearly basis. Pretty much, we have checklists we're following nonstop that match the criteria, so you can be rest assured that we are following best practices financially, administratively, and we are very transparent in everything we do. This year, Levi Newton will be getting a brand new playground. So this playground was selected at a community input meeting hosted by Jimmy B. If you notice, there's a trend here. The children are definitely selecting the tall. They love everything that's pretty much not horizontal, because we had a lot of horizontal playgrounds for people to choose. They love the vertical. And you can see on the far right-hand side, there's a spinner, and that kind of is reminiscent of the spinners from 70s and 80s playgrounds. And so those are definitely popular in size. As well, Wind Energy Park is due for its new playground. Ironically, there was a fish in the former playground, and when this particular playground manufacturer, Miracle, Team Real, had done this concept for the park district, they decided to integrate the fish again, so that way, since the public was used to seeing it, this is continuity, and the public voted for the fish design out of all the designs that were available. And again, a lot of height that we're seeing. It all started with big woods. Woodland Hills Park, next year we are talking about adding a walking path around the park. People will be able to walk their dogs, just take a night stroll. They can just enjoy that mileage around the park in a way they've never done before, because right now there is no path, walking path around the entire park. And it's been something that was inquired about back in 2008, and just recently when we've been working on fixing the creek with the city, the public has expressed great interest in having a walking path there. This is the Civic Center Gymnasium. So this is what it looked like for 30 years. We had gymnastics mats on one entire side of the gymnasium, and the plans for 2020 are we've actually lifted the mat up, and this is what it looks like. And actually the far right-hand side is more a true to color of what it looks like than the upper left-hand side. Upper left-hand side we had the floors buffed and scuffed and the spit and polish, they call it. And it stays like that for a little while, but then it starts to look like the right-hand side again. So we are going to have brand new wood floor. You can see the water damage down here. This is what it looks like underneath the floor, because there's water damage from all the years that the gymnastics mats were underneath, or on top of the wood floor. And you can see the spacing between the wood panels as well. We're starting to separate from the mats being on top. So 2020 will be the year that we're actually looking in March and April for shutting down the gymnasium so we can completely do an overhaul, do scoreboards, we're gonna add bleachers, we're gonna paint the Batavia Park District in the middle of the face of the floor. We're super excited. And we're gonna actually, for the first time in 30 years, be able to program the Civic Center Gymnasium, which we've never been able to do since it's been built. Next year, we also have in the docking station to fix Big Wood softball field. There are a lot of drainage issues with this particular field. It's also not ADA friendly, and so we're actually going to be elevating the field to help with the drainage, and a new backstop and bleachers as well. And last but not least, out of all of the parking lots in our inventory, there are two that need the most help. So the 2020 is going to be the year for designing and engineering new parking lots for the Laurelwood, which is home of the lodge at Laurelwood. You can see the little puppy there hanging out. He looks pretty happy to be there, but I'm pretty sure he's sitting on gravel. And on the right-hand side, that's the Hall Quarry Beach parking lot, which for anybody that's been to the Hall Quarry Beach, you might remember the parking lot looks like ground beef. So we're doing the design and engineering this year to fix that for the following year. And I want to thank the board and staff, my Park District family, the residents. What we do day in and day out is for you. Wish you the happiest of holidays, and the best in 2020 is yet to come. Thank you.
Thank you. Well done.
It's way over 5 minutes.
That's okay. We won't tell you how long it was. Great update. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so the next item on the agenda is 13A. So we have a presentation tonight. So you want to set this up, or you want to just bring them on up?
Yep. We actually have one of the moms that was going to introduce.
I am.
Oh, yeah. If not, I'd be happy to.
You want to introduce yourself? Okay. It's kind of their thing. So
Sure, sure.
Let them go.
You may. You can use the
Yep.
microphone.
You might want to bring your thing over for when you
Yeah, you can wheel it towards the center. There you go. And feel free if you want to bring it a little bit closer
You can
too.
pull that down if you want.
Yeah.
I got a good idea. Why don't we do this?
Or are you taking it out?
Here you take turn this so you guys can stand in front of the pole.
There you go. Perfect. Good idea.
Here we go.
Good idea.
Gentlemen, welcome.
Hello, we are the local llamas team from Fox Valley Robotics. We thank you for your time today. So, along with coding the robot, you also have to think of a solution, and you have to think of a problem, and you think of a solution for it. So this that is related to the topic here. So this year the topic was City Shaper. So we chose to do one that is within our city, and we decided to part of a two-level right in the middle of the bike path. There's a two-level stairway. So we'd like to present to you a little script that we are also showing to our judges at competitions.
So we're in the role models. I'm Aiden.
I'm Connor.
And I'm Owen. Our project concerns a wide variety of people accessing Batavia's bike path. The issue we are concerned with is the inaccessibility that wheelchairs, bikes with trailers, and strollers have to deal with when accessing the bike path at its entry point near the bridge in downtown Batavia.
The city of Batavia is considered a very walkable, bikeable city. But when we went on our own bike ride, we discovered that there are several areas that are difficult to access with a wheelchair or stroller. We are focusing on one spot in particular.
At its location in downtown Batavia, there's a popular access point for the bike path. At its location near the farmer's market and many shops and restaurants, part of it is down at the river level and part of it is up by the street. It is connected by a two-level stairway, which is an obstacle for bikers and nearly impossible to access with wheelchairs, bikes with trailers, or bikes with trailers or strollers. When we spoke with Marty Callahan from the Batavia City Council, he said that the city recognizes the problem and is trying to come up with solutions. Our current idea is to put a ramp in along the stairs that would help bikes get up and down the slope. However, this would not benefit young or elderly bikers or strollers, wheelchairs, or bikes with trailers. It would not be ADA compliant for wheelchair accessibility.
During the season, we developed several solutions to this problem. We decided that we would use a solution that would run parallel to the stairs. It would be able to hold a wheelchair, a stroller, a bike, or a bike with a trailer.
To keep kids from playing with the lift, there would be a code to use it. The code could be obtained by the city over telephone, and each person would have their own code. We estimate this project to be about $15,000 based on research that we did online. However, we are waiting for a more accurate estimate from the design company that we spoke to earlier. We are also waiting for Monday when we can talk to a grant person to see if this is a possible grant, possible to apply for a grant for. When we spoke with Christina Clementi, an architect and wheelchair accessibility specialist in Chicago, she said that the bike path is not required to be ADA compliant. However, when we spoke with Abby Beck from the Batavia City Council, she agreed with us that it's a public space and it should be able to be used by everyone. According to the Chicago Metropolitan Agency of Planning, between 2,000 and 4,000 people can be using the bike path on a nice summer day.
When we spoke to Amy Moore, a member of the Batavia Bicycle Commission, she told us that Batavia earned a national designation as a bikeable-friendly city. But she believes we are the only city to win this award on the Fox River.
Batavians are very proud of their bike path. With the same citizen community just across the river and many young and active families in Batavia, we feel this solution has changed the city for the better.
So already we've spoken to the Batavia City Council and the Batavia Bicycle Commission. The Batavia City Council was 2 weeks ago, and they like our solution idea, and they would like to discuss it further in the future. And when we spoke with the Batavia Bicycle Commission, they really liked it, and they gave us the idea to look for a grant for something of this sort.
We don't really know who owns the property. We know you guys, Park
we know
District
somebody
owns, Park District owns the bridge. We don't know who owns the stairs and the either. That's what we're kind of here to figure out.
Any questions?
We will. So I just want to make sure I got the names straight. Aiden, Connor, and Owen, is that correct? Okay.
Aiden, Owen, Connor.
Well, it depends on which way you go.
Well, I'm going that way. All right, who's going
You know, he's going the other way.
All right.
Well, first and foremost, that is the sharpest presentation I've ever seen.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
wonderful.
so. But I'm an architect and engineer, and I got to get closer because I got to be able to see
I
it.
was
So
going to ask, can you wheel that closer?
There's Oreos in there too.
That's why I want it closer.
All right.
Positive reinforcement with the Oreos.
It would run up along the railing that's already in place, because that already has a solid foundation, and because this is right next to the river, if the river floods, we already know that those stairs, that sidewalk, and the railings, those are going to be fine. And we know those can support that kind of weight. So our idea is to either build a track alongside of it or have it run up along the railings parallel to the stairway. And this isn't an entirely accurate representation of it. We hope to have it runs along the stairs as I photoshopped here, and it could fold up when nobody's using it, so that way the stairs remain unobstructed.
Like you said, this is not the most accurate one
Yeah.
that we can get. As we said, we plan to have it fit not only wheelchairs, but bikers, strollers, and backs of trailers. So as you can imagine, that would have to be a lot bigger in order to fit this.
And in order to fit a bike with a trailer, rather than having it be extra long, our idea is you'd have a platform, but you might also have a rack similar to what you'd find on the front of the bus on front, so that way you can have this the trailer on there, but you can also have the bike on, but just not on a platform, and you wouldn't be able to pass them.
Are they hired, Pat, to work for you?
I love this idea. This is
It's awesome.
It's very innovative.
Yeah, very innovative idea. I like your use of Legos. I'll say that more.
Yeah.
Can I see that photoshopped image? Is there any tool you guys didn't take out of your toolbox? No?
If I had one, I'll tell you.
Well, I think you did a great job.
It's very impressive.
Proud of you guys. That's some very innovative thinking, and actually serves probably the most important thing we can do for our communities is allow everyone to access the public areas. And I think that's really something, whether or not it's required, I think we kind of owe it to everybody to give them an equal shot at it. So I think you guys have done a great job in analyzing it and coming up with a really, really innovative solution. So congratulations. And thanks for sharing.
It's great. Thank you very much.
And just so you know, the Park District owns the property you're talking about.
So you came to the right place.
Yeah, right place.
Oh, boys, can you wheel it over here too? So we can all see it?
And this is the kind of project that would be such a great Parks Foundation project.
Yeah, for
for
sure.
Yeah, it really
fundraising.
would.
So incredibly impressed.
Raise that pretty quick.
You did a very thorough research as well. He might be in there. He might be in the box.
So the only suggestion I might give you is they do sell vertical bike racks. They're almost like a hook, so the bike can actually sit vertically without taking the wheels off, and you could effectively have a bike next to the trailer without making the platform too big.
Or more than one bike on the platform.
Or more than one bike at a time, actually.
Thinking of a way to put a bike up and then have the trailer on where the wheelchair would sort of go.
Great work.
Like it.
And thank
Very
you
good
so
work.
much for sharing. The Robo Llamas.
Nice.
And congratulations on first place.
Yes.
You remember a long time ago, the caffeinated squirrels came and talked to us?
Yes, I do remember.
Good job, guys. Thanks.
I know, yeah.
So we thank you for coming, and make sure you do all your homework tonight. Thank you. It's our
Excellent.
pleasure.
Thank you.
I got a funny feeling they already did their homework.
Oh, yeah.
I think they finished it already. That's why they looked at you like, what? We have to do tomorrow's too?
Wow.
I want them to do my homework.
I'm going to hire him tomorrow. All right. That was fun. That was great. So next item on the agenda is 13B, our fiscal 2020 annual budget. Our operating budget. Report, presentation. Mitch?
Okay, thank you, Pat. This is the final product of about 6 months of staff work. I'd like to thank everybody here. They've done an amazing job, set aside a lot of time for this, and I think they really delivered a great project. So thank you, everybody, for your help. And I'd like to thank the board, too. You guys took time out of your personal lives to attend a staff retreat to talk about this, and we can't say thank you enough for that. So this is a comparison of the overall budget for 2020 compared to the 2019 budget and projection. And this is our entire budget, including capital, debt service, everything. And while these are a lot of numbers, there's a story behind all that. And what you see down at the bottom is we're operating at planned deficits. And what that means is that we're reinvesting money in the community because our fund balances are in a very healthy position. So every municipality in Illinois is required to have a balanced budget. A balanced budget does not mean it comes down to zero at the end. It means you don't spend yourself into a negative cash position. Because we've been responsible for so many years leading up to this, we were able to keep reinvesting in the community in places like local parks that residents, can see right in their front yards. If you take debt service and capital out, we can talk about the operating fund budget, and this is where you can really see what a great job staff did this year. That $765,000 is an operating fund surplus. That's through both revenue generation under Brittany's supervision and cost containment among the entire staff. This healthy budgeting allows us to keep investing into capital and technology that keeps the Park District as a provider of choice for the community. We're going to talk about our major funds tonight and the capital fund. There hasn't, since the board saw the budget in the end of, was it October? Yes, October. There's not been significant changes since then. So what you see up on the screen now is the comparison for the general fund between 2017 through the 2020 projection. There, down at the bottom, there is a variance between the 2019 projection and 2019 budget. This is, one of the largest areas of the budget, and you can see that staff does a very good job of staying within their operating budget. The general fund is projected at the end of 2020 to have 8 months of fund balance in reserve. That's well within our policy, which says it should be between 3 and 12. The general fund is something that we use to provide for staff training and technology throughout the district and any of the initiatives identified in the comprehensive master plan that we're finalizing. And then this is a graphical representation of those same numbers from the general fund. The recreation fund at the end of 2020. So we report the recreation fund and the quarry fund separately for our internal reporting purposes. That helps us keep an eye on quarry operations. For all other purposes, though, such as our audit, the recreation fund and the quarry fund are considered one entity because the quarry isn't a true enterprise fund. The fund balance for the recreation fund at the end of 2020 is projected to be at a 7-month fund balance, again, well within our fund balance policy. In 2019, the Recreation Fund started making a capital contribution to the CDP fund to keep reinvesting in the community. That increased the tax revenue allocated to this fund as well. Each year, they've been contributing $500,000 to capital, along with all the recreation programming they provide to the district. User fees and program revenue accounts for 64% of the revenue in this fund.
We're still working on getting it to 50.
This is, again, a graphical representation of the same chart that was just on the screen. And then the Feel Good Fund for the district. This is the Capital Development Fund. We discussed this in September. Jim and Allison on the board have done a great job over a number of years. This is a big portion of our budget. We have a lot of parks and properties that we maintain. This is funded primarily by operating fund transfers from the Recreation Fund and the General Fund. Again, operating fund revenue is what allows us to keep investing in the community like this. This fund accounts for all our park construction projects and any major facility upgrades that we do throughout the year. The ending fund balance, the unrestricted fund balance at the end of 2020 is projected to be $367,000. And that's a similar graphical representation. I will say that the deficits you see there also include a potential property purchase from our restricted funds. That is budgeted as a contingency. I'm not aware of anything that we have in the works for that, but that's in the budget just in case we get the opportunity. We don't have to do a budget amendment, but I don't anticipate that, to be honest. And I'd be happy to field any questions the board has, but.
Well, I guess I'll start. I mean, I appreciate all the effort that went into pulling it together from all the staff. I think it's a great budget. It's reflective of where we are today. But I do think it's important to share with our community that the Park District has, over the past 12 years, we started that program, Jim? About 12 years we started
CDP.
the CDP, am I right?
Close to 20, 2001.
2001. Wow, I dated myself.
Yeah.
18
And that was the beginnings of us trying to basically take care of all of the inventory, whether it be physical assets or parks that we had, so that they didn't go in disrepair and were, reinvigorated. And we have actually gone through all of our parks once since the plan started, and we're already working on the next round of improvements, or enhancements or repairs, et cetera. So I think it's really important to recognize that that was all done without asking the taxpayers for more money.
Correct.
A tax rate increase, et cetera. And I think that's a testament to how this body has always tried to lead, and that is by example, and that is we want to make sure that we're living within our means. But yet, I think the expectation from our community is they want us to continue to take care of the things that we have, and we continue to over that 20 years, we took in a lot of additional inventory. Took a lot of new parks online, a lot of new properties online with development, et cetera. So in that regard, I want to thank staff for taking a hard look at all of our line items in all of the departments to ensure that we can continue to do that. So, well done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's been a long time.
It has been.
I would like to publicly give you and the board credit, though. This is the third park district I've worked at, and this is by far the most organized and best run capital development plan I've seen.
Oh, thank you.
And funded, to your point, extremely responsibly.
Yeah, I have to say, I think Commissioner Leard, who is retired from the board, this was his brainchild. Him and Commissioner Beamer kind of pushed this along a little bit harder so we could actually have something in place. And this has really been building on their legacy. And, I hope this board will continue to do that, long into the future, because I think the community's now come to expect us to do it. Not only that, but I think they deserve it, right? I mean, it's their parks, it's their system, and it's really important that we continue to take care of what the taxpayers have provided us. So, thank you. Board, any comments?
No?
Okay.
You pretty much said it.
Thank you. All right, so next item on the agenda is 14A. And this was our second reading for the governance policy manual changes that we reviewed last month. I know that some of Kevin's changes were incorporated into it, so.
They were, and apparently I missed one sentence, so I would just ask that the board forgive me. And it's under the TIF districts, it's really just the deletion of a sentence that says, it shall be the practice of the board to accept such formation of TIF districts within its jurisdiction according to the following criteria, just to delete that sentence.
Okay. So I would entertain a motion to approve the governance policy manual as presented and altered this evening, changed with amendment, and all prior policies are hereby rescinded.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Tillman and second by Ryder. Anyone want to talk about this any further, or are we good? Shall I please call the roll?
Tillman.
Aye.
Riley.
Aye.
Dorsey absent. Gray. Aye. Callahan.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is the second reading of the administrative policy manual. Any changes to this one? We're all good.
We're all good.
All
I
right.
haven't heard from anybody at least.
So I
don't wanna
entertain a
jinx
motion
it.
to approve the administrative policy manual as presented, and all prior policies are hereby rescinded.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Tillman, second by Gray. Any further discussion? Shall I please call the roll? Oh, you, what?
No, I just appreciate the opportunity to read the whole
Oh,
thing
yeah.
again.
Do you have it memorized?
Well, that was my Thanksgiving.
Light reading.
It's only 300 pages, no big deal.
Footnotes and the little edits in it. It's really, yeah.
Aye, yeah. What do I have to say? Aye.
Gray.
Aye.
Riley.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Excellent. All right, so next item is 14C, Capital Development Plan Progress Report. Jim?
Well, number one, I want to apologize. We ran into a really crazy computer problem, and I couldn't insert pictures, and Shelley tried to help me, and then I just plain flat didn't put a report in, so I have a text one. Allison named many of the things that we're getting ready to launch into. I think the one that she didn't talk about was our East Side Center improvements, which is a round two of interior upgrades that we are planning on doing in 2020 to our building to really get it set. It is amazing. We continue to hear great things about the kitchen and about how the foyer looks and all of the things that we did. So people really are noticing and are appreciating all of the work that has gone into that. And then we are getting ready to launch a bunch of big stuff for 2020, which is really exciting. So,
Great.
And then we'll be dealing with the playground stuff. Or in the gymnasium, gymnasium in a little while.
Great, thank you.
As an IT guy, I can safely say it was probably hardware that was your problem. It's never software. Just so you know.
It was more operator.
Well said, John. Well said.
Yeah, I can't even blame my poor machine.
Machine.
All right. So next item on the agenda is 15A. So I entertain a motion to approve the fiscal year 2020 annual operating budget as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Tillman, second by Gray. Any further discussion? Shelley, please call the roll.
Tillman.
Aye.
Gray.
Aye.
Dorsey absent. Riley.
Aye.
Callahan.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Great job, Mitch.
Yeah, excellent.
Now we can start on 2021.
Yeah, I better say, you're going to take 2 weeks
Seems
off
like-
and then start on the next one?
It seems like we just approved one and we're already doing the next one.
He's going to be coming to you guys with numbers in January.
Yeah, he's already making it.
I'm sure he is. It was a good process, though, so well done.
Thank you.
All right, so next on the agenda is 15B. So do you want me to call the motion and then have a discussion, or do you want to? So this is the ordinance for fiscal year 2020 tentative budget and appropriations. Ordinance which makes the budget available to the public in, is it available available here, online? How was our?
Both. If residents would like to come inspect it in person, they can see it at the front desk here. It'll also be available on our website.
All right. So I entertain a motion to approve ordinance number 389, fiscal year 2020 tentative budget and appropriations ordinance to make available for public inspection.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Tillman, second by Gray. Any further discussion? Shelley, please call the roll.
Tillman.
Aye.
Gray.
Aye.
Riley.
Aye.
Dorsey absent. Callahan.
Aye, motion carries. Next item on the agenda is 15C. So this is our ordinance 390, and this is our annual general obligation limited tax park bond funding, which funds the other side of our capital project. So we have to take part of it from the rec, which is a fund transfer, and then we leverage the annual general obligation bonds to fund that program. So
Mr. Aaron
welcome back,
Gold.
Aaron.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
It's always a pleasure to come here and present. I do appreciate the opportunity. My name is Aaron Gold. I'm a municipal advisor from Spirit Financial, and I'm here to present the results of the sale of the district's general obligation limited tax park bond series 2020A. We held a competitive sale yesterday where we received 5 bids. The low bid was at 1.81% from Park Ridge Community Bank. A little bit about the structure of this issue. We anticipate closing on the issue on January 2nd. It is a 1-year issue with the final maturity on November 1st, and these are general obligation limited tax park bonds. General obligation, meaning it's paid from a direct property tax, limited in that you can only issue so much of them, and then that property tax levy is constrained by your debt service extension base, which is how much you can levy each year, and that grows by a CPI adjustment. So after receiving the favorable bid from Park Ridge Community Bank at 1.81%, we increased the issue size from $3,970 to $700,725 to fill the 2019 levying capacity. And this issue is going to generate $696,175 in capital proceeds to again fund your CDP program. A little bit on this rate from Park Ridge Community Bank. Last year, the winning bid was at 2.7%, so that is an 89 basis point drop. With other comparable rollover bond sales, we've been seeing on average them go down about 75 basis points, just because we're in a generally lower interest rate environment. That being said, the bid of 1.81% is an extremely strong bid from Park Ridge Community Bank. We therefore recommend that the bonds be awarded to Park Ridge Community Bank at the revised price of $707,025 at a net interest rate of 1.81%. If you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to help.
Board? Okay. So I would entertain a motion to approve ordinance number 390, an ordinance providing for the issue of approximately $707,025 in general obligation limited tax park bonds series 2020A of the district for the payment of land for parks, for building, for maintaining and improving and protecting the same and the existing land and facilities of the Park District, and for the payment of expenses incident thereto, providing for the levy of the direct annual tax to pay the principal and interest of said bonds, and authorizing the sale of said bonds to purchaser thereof as presented tonight.
And that has to be one of the toughest parts of the entire process. Is reading that.
Well done. Yeah.
I know it is.
Just one breath.
Couldn't find the period.
Rolls right off the tongue.
Yeah.
So I got the motion on the floor.
So moved. I'm exhausted.
Motion by Tillman. Anyone? Second?
Second.
Second by Riley. Excellent. Any further discussion? Now that I'm exhausted. All right, Shelley, please call the roll.
Tillman.
Aye.
Riley.
Aye.
Gray.
Aye.
Dorsey absent. Callahan.
Aye, motion carries. Thanks, Aaron. Good to see you.
holidays.
Appreciate it.
You too.
Thank you.
Bye, Aaron. Take care.
And thank you for continuing to fund our CDP.
Yeah, no, I think it's important.
Yeah.
Very important. Next item on the agenda is 15D, so I entertain a motion to award the contract for custodial services for 2020 to the lowest responsive bidder, Echo Clean Maintenance of Elmhurst, Illinois, for a total amount of $49,884.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Tillman, second by Gray.
It's quite a bit less than the rest of the bids. Yeah.
That too.
There are existing.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, so there's no
them.
question of their quality, but my goodness, it's quite a bit less than the other ones.
This is a departure from the norm. I think probably the last 3 rollovers we've had we've always changed companies. EcoClean has enjoyed working with us, as they have stated, and while not 100% problem-free, they have been very good to work with over these last 3 years. And as is explained here, these are 1-year contracts, so if something were to go wrong, we have the ability to say, "No, sorry, we have to do it again next year." You know, the hope is that that's not the case. They have certainly grown with us as our needs have grown, and this contract actually has more tasks and more frequencies of work than the last one has. So we're getting more work for about the same amount of money that we're paying right now. So that's a very good, and it goes up slightly as it goes down.
Now, we get, with this vote, we get locked into these contract extensions if that's what we choose next year, or do they have to go back out to bid and then try to get the same price?
No. The way we have worked it over the years is that we do an evaluation at the end of the year, and if there are problems, we actually do it more often than that. I want to point that out. But we have a separate contract for 2021 and 2022 as well. It also allows us to increase or decrease the tasks as necessary without having to go in and rewrite a contract or anything. So,
great.
Oh, okay.
Been a pretty successful process.
Cool. Okay.
All right. Any further discussion? Shelley, please call the roll.
I'm sorry, is it Tillman Gray?
Yes, Tillman Gray.
Tillman?
Aye.
Gray?
Aye.
Riley?
Aye.
Dorsey absent. Callahan?
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That will help with consistency too, as the succession plan from the custodial contract going from Jim Eby to Becca Atkins, our facilities supervisor. So that'll help having that consistency in place.
That's great. Well, we appreciate their bid. I mean, you know, it is expensive to find a new account as opposed to keeping an old one.
And it's a huge learning curve.
Oh, yeah.
Especially with what we do.
Well, and they can also, you know, build into their bid efficiencies as they know what our expectation is.
Absolutely.
And so on and so forth. So. All right, so next item on the agenda is 15E. So I entertain a motion to award the contract for the Civic Center Gymnasium improvements, including alternates 2 and 3, to the lowest responsive bidder, Integral Construction of Romeoville, for an amount of $222,320.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Tillman, second by Gray. Any further discussion? Jim, any parting comments here?
No, I think Williams, their memo speaks to the good work that they have found that Integral is doing. We've actually had some other, they are not a real old company, but have been doing this kind of work in the Park District world for several years and have gotten very high marks. So we're looking forward to looking.
Small projects is a niche.
Yeah.
These are considered small projects.
Yeah. We actually had a number of larger companies just tell us, it is just too small.
Yeah.
Bergen said, sorry. And we're like, this is a big thing for us, but.
I mean, actually, I'm surprised that some of the bidders that you got actually gave you numbers, because some of those bidders are big companies.
They are.
Big works.
And I think they were kind of close, maybe for the Wegmans and the.
Yeah.
But, so that's good.
Great.
And this is right smack in our budget wheelhouse. So.
Outstanding. All right. Since there's no further discussion, shall I please call the roll?
Tillman?
Aye.
Gray.
Aye.
Riley.
Aye.
Dorsey absent. Callahan.
Aye, motion carries.
Sweet. I already got the contract written out, so.
Ready to go.
Well, there are a number of long lead time things
Yeah.
involved with this, so we
Yeah, great.
need to get these.
So I entertain a motion to approve the Board of Commissioners' expenses in accordance with the Local Government Travel Expense Control Act, Public Act 099-0604, as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Tillman, second by Gray. And this is for our annual conference?
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
Shelley, please call the roll.
Tillman.
Aye.
Gray.
Aye.
Riley.
Aye.
Dorsey absent. Callahan.
Aye, motion carries. Our last action item of this evening is 15G, which is our regular meeting resolution, a resolution for our regular meetings for next year. So I would entertain a motion to approve resolution number 261, fiscal year 2020, regular board meeting schedule as presented.
So moved.
Second. Look at you.
Motion to Gray, second by Tillman.
May I add for discussion?
Yeah, go ahead.
There's a March 17th date, that is the night of the election. So I'm not sure.
And St. Patrick's Day.
Well,
Okay. You know, is that, okay.
I was good with it.
Yeah.
I just wanted to bring it to the board's attention, because now would be the time if you wanted to.
It'd be a wonderful distraction.
Okay, or we could have live
It'll be
coverage.
Oh, trust me, I'll
it'll
do
be
it.
a very pithy
Yeah.
agenda that evening. Let's put it that way.
How about that?
Ah, yes, pithy. I remember
Okay.
that.
Shelley's raise.
And we all have to speak in brogue.
Unless, I mean, we could move the time up for that night if you want. This is the time we do
No.
it.
Why? No.
No.
Okay, all right.
This is good to
I'm
go.
totally fine. I just
How
wanted
do
to
you
bring
make
it
it
to your
up?
No,
attention.
no, good to go.
Well, post close at 7, so
Yeah.
it takes them at least an hour to get everything back to county. So if we keep the agenda short, we should be out of here. We just want to make sure we.
Have a watch
Come on,
party.
you got Wi-Fi.
Make it very pithy.
I'm good.
Yes, pithy. No presentations that night.
Yeah. That's the key.
February and April
There you go.
presentation.
All right. Anyone else? Shelley, please call the roll.
Gray.
Aye.
Tillman.
Aye.
Riley. Dorsey absent. Callahan.
Aye, motion carries. All right, so we have executive session this evening. So I entertain a motion to enter into executive session to discuss leasing, property, and land acquisition 2C5, personnel 2C1, and semi-annual review of executive session minutes 2C21.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Tillman, second by Gray. Shelley, please call the roll.
Tillman.
Aye.
Gray.
Aye.
Riley.
Aye.
Dorsey absent. Callahan.
Aye, motion carries. So we will be going to executive session. The only action item that will result after our executive session is the approval of our annual review of our executive session meeting minutes, so there'll be no action items other than that. So we would, I guess we'll see you next month, so have a very happy holidays, Merry Christmas to everyone out in TV land. Thank you.